Okay, so let's start. Good evening. Welcome to Philip Plus Tutorials. So right now we're at day 4 of the free STET XD tutorial sessions, and this will last until January 9. For day 4, we will be again learning from Sir Miko Navarro, a statistics student major in actuarial science from De La Salle University, Manila. So, Sir Miko?
Hello. Ayan. Ah,
Ano
good evening everyone. Kumusta kayo? Okay. Wait, let me just share my screen. Ayan. Uh, so last time we discussed about the different measures of central tendency. So for tonight, let's start with a recap of last week of last time's session. Okay. So uh I'll just do this ano lang pretty quick para uh, to save us time and to discuss more topics. Ayan, so, mm, okay. So, we are given this. Ito pala yung galing dun sa day 4 assessment kanina na sinend sa GC. And if you have the answers or solutions, just prepare them. And I might ask some questions. Okay. So, okay, we are given these class boundaries with the corresponding frequency, and we are required to ask to give the mean, median, and mode of this uh, distribution. Okay, so let's start with the mean. Okay, so given the formula of uh, getting the mean is the um, summation of frequency times x sub m all over n, di ba? And to find this, we have to um, complete the table first. Okay, so class mark is just your x sub m or your uh, the average of your upper and lower limit of the class boundaries. So that's 16.5 plus 18.5 over 2. That's um 17 17.5, and then next is uh 19.5, then 21.5, 23.5, 25.5, 27.5, and 29.5. Nagets ba bakit ganun yung class mark natin or our x sub m? If hindi klaro, just let me know. Okay, klaro naman daw. If hindi klaro, just let me know. I'm glad to repeat it or explain for you. So our next column is f times x of m. Our f here is just the frequency here. So, multiply natin yan. Like 5 times 17.5, ganun. That's, okay. That's 87.5. And then 19.5 times 45 times 877.5. Then 21.5 times 70 times 1,505. And then next is 1,000. 104.5, and then 153, and then 55, and then 59. Ayan, yung F, complete na yung column natin for F times X sub M. Is it clear for everyone kung bakit ganito yung nakuha natin? Okay, clear. If may mali pala ako like nasulat, pakisabi lang. Just chat them or unmute yourself. Okay. And then our cumulative frequency column, that's 5. Let's start with 5. Again, cumulative frequency, nagfo-focus tayo sa column na ito. Frequency column. That's 5 plus 55. That's 50. And then plus 70. That's 120. Plus 47. 167. Plus 6. 173. Plus 2. 175. And plus 2 again, 177. Okay, so that is our cumulative frequency. It follows here that 177 is also your N, or also known as your sample size. Ayan. Okay, so I think we are ready to solve our mean. Okay, so first, we have to get the summation of this column right here.
It's
Uh, what is image? 40? 40 ba? Wait, let me check. Oo, tama. 40 nga. 5, 40, 70, 47, 60. Okay. Mali yung naka-open ako. Ayan, so that means kailangan palitan ito tsaka lahat to. Actually, wait. Kailangan lang natin mag -5. Right. Yeah. So that's 19.5 times 40, 7, 80. And then dito, -5, 35, -5, 115. Dito, 162, 168, and then 170, 170. Ayan, tama na ba? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so we could proceed now on getting our mean. So we have to get the summation of this column. That's 87.5 plus 780 plus and so on until 55 plus 59 all over our N. Ito, 172. And can someone give me the sum of the dun sa numerator? Can someone give me yung sum nitong column na to? can type it in the chat. Ayan, same kay Adrian Nisem. 3744. And then we have to divide that by 172. 170. Okay, so our mean then is 21 point up to ano tayo? Two decimal places na lang. 21.77. Ayan. Same ba tayo ng nakuha dun sa mga nagsagot ng assessment natin today? Yes, yes. Okay. So, next naman is yung pagkuha natin ng median. Again, our formula in getting the median is n over 2 minus the CF of the median all over F, frequency of the median class, times our um, class width plus our L sub MD, or the lower bound of our median class. Again, our um, N is 172. And then we have to uh, uh, find which of these boundaries is our median class. So how do we do that again? What's 172 over 2? That's 86. This is 86. So, alin daw dito yung nagko-contain ng 86 na ika-86 na data point natin. So again, we can look at our cumulative frequency. Alin dito yung number bago siya lumagpas sa 86. I mean, number after wait, alin dito yung number na lumagpas ng 86? Yung pinakauna. That's 115, 'di ba? So, that means na yung class boundary na to, yan yung ating median class. Okay, so the cumulative frequency of the preceding it or before nito is 45. So that's our CF. Our CF is the cumulative frequency before the median class. And then the frequency of the median class is ito. That's 70. And then again, our class width, that's, we can choose any of the two. It's 18. Any of the uh, intervals, just have to get the difference of the upper limit and the lower limit. And that's just 2. Right? Tama, 2. And then the lower limit of our median class is this one. That's 20.5. Ayan. So, simplify lang natin. That's 86 minus 45 divided by 70. times 2 plus 20.5. Again, up to 2 decimal places na lang tayo. So, um, I got, wait lang. Wait lang, I'll be back. Wait lang.
And hello, well, kinakausap si Sir Rico. Just to remind, just tulad ng sinabi namin last week, yung competitions natin right now, we're using calculator pa para lang mabilis yung turuan natin. Pero in the exam mismo is bawal yung calculator. So as much as possible, when you practice outside the classes is mag-handwritten lang tayo ng solutions. Plus, yung goals nung lessons na tinuturo namin is to give you an idea what to review. Because yung long computations na to, tulad sinabi namin, is pwede siyang lumabas sa DCAT as consecutive points, like kunyari 4 items for this whole computation, or maybe may missing lang na ilang parts yun sa table or whatsoever. The important thing is you should know by heart kung ano yung processes niya, imbes na just the formulas kasi medyo mahaba nga talaga siya. So, dapat na-practice niyo yung buong process na yan and big points din kasi talaga siya. Yan. Welcome back, Nico.
Hi, sorry. May, uh, ano lang, interruption. Sorry. Ayan. Um, so, na-compute niyo na ba? Na-simplify niyo na ba yung expression na to? Kasi ako, I got um, 21.67. Same ba tayo ng sagot? Dun sa nakapag-solve? Yes po. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ian. Okay, so we're done with the median and the mean and the median. Okay, now let's solve for the mode of this um distribution. And so honestly, parang mas madali for me yung pagkuha ng mode kaysa sa median. Kasi yung formula lang nito is ano ulit? L sub MO plus T1 over T1 plus T times the class width. Again, we have to um wait lang. Hmm, Sige, okay na yan. Uh, so again, we have to um ang tawag dito, identify which of these class interval or class is the model class. So, ang titignan lang natin ay itong frequency table, frequency column, and whichever has the highest frequency, kung alin yung may pinakamataas na frequency, yun na yung ating model class. So, from here, our uh, highest frequency is 70, and it falls again under this class interval. Same sila dun sa median class kanina. And again, uh, our lower limit is 20.5. And then, again, ano yung T1 natin? That's the difference of uh, this one and this one. That's 70 minus 40. T1 is 70 minus 40, or that's 30. And our T2 is the difference between 70 and 47. So that's 70 minus 47 is 23. And we have the same class width, which is just 2. Tapos, substitute na lang natin yung values dun sa ating variables. So, our T1 is 30, and then over T1, 30 plus T2, 23, multiplied by our class width of 2. So, that's 20.5 plus 30 over 53 times 2. I got 21.63. Again, can someone confirm if we got the same um, answer? Or both? Yes. Okay. Say 21.63. Ayan, so that's the recap of our last session. Uh, okay. Now let's move on to our next topic. So, for our next topic, i-expand lang natin yung um, ating measures of central tendency. So, aside from uh, the mean, median, and mode, may iba pa tayong uh, measures of central tendency. And, uh, pero ano lang to, parang papasadahan lang natin. Kasi, just in case lumabas siya sa um, sa college entrance exam. So, ayun, para may idea kayo kung ano nga ano yung ano nga ba 'tong mga ibang terms na hindi tinuturo madalas sa school. Kaya okay, so let's start with the um, mid-range. Ayan, mid-range. Ano ba ang mid-range? Okay, so mid-range or MR, yung formula lang nito is lowest value plus highest value. And then we get their average. Ayan. So, ganun lang yung ano natin, yung formula natin. Also known as LV or H and HV. Ayan. So, let's have an example. Example, ano na to? Example 8. Okay, so we are to find the mid-range of these 11 numbers. 150, 110, 100, 35, 60, 130, 40, 140, 120, 160, and 110. Ayusin ko lang. Mm. Ayan. So, let's find the mid-range of these 11 uh, numbers. So, MR is again lowest value plus highest value all over 2. Alin ba dito yung lowest value natin? Okay, so let's start with the lowest value. Can someone find what's the lowest value? Can type in sa chat or unmute. Ano yung lowest value ng 11 numbers na to? That's 35. Tama. And what is the highest value? Ano yung highest value? Hmm? Ano yung highest value? 160. Yes, tama. Tama si Ian. 160 yung highest value natin. So, kunin lang natin yung sum nila. And then, we divide it by 160 plus 35. That's 195. Then divided by 2. In decimal, that is 97.5. Ayan. So, ganun lang kasimple yung pagkuha ng mid-range. Okay, it's just a matter of familiarizing the formula pagdating sa exam. Okay, so next naman is the weighted mean. Weight, weighted, weighted mean. Okay, so ano yung pinagkaiba nito dun sa usual na mean? 'Di ba may mean na tayo before? Ito lang, iba dun sa usual na mean, yung average, equal sila lahat ng weight or yung bigat. Dito naman sa weighted mean, magkakaiba sila ng bigat, magkakaiba sila ng bigat. Kung mas matimbang yung isa, di parang mas malaki yung hatak papunta sa number na yun. Parang ganun yung sense ng weighted mean. Pero yung formula nung pagkuha nung ano natin, weighted mean, yung notation is also x bar. Pero usually inaano naman yan, uh, din ini-indicate kung weighted mean siya or not. Pero sa default is ano lang, yung usual na mean. That's just the summation of W times X over the summation of W. Yung W, that's our, um, ito, same lang to. Ito, tsaka ito. This is our weight. And the X is our, the data point, the data value. Ayan. So to put this into use, let's have an example. Example 9. Okay, so there is kunwari may tatlong area tayo. Area 1, area 2, and area 3. And then each area, magko-conduct tayo ng survey kung ilan ba yung pabor sa bagong taste ng carbonated drink. So, for instance, yung sa area 1, 40% of the people. And then area 2, 30%. And then area 3, 50% of the people nagustuhan yung bagong taste ng carbonated drink. And then these are just your excess. In getting the usual mean, parang ano lang siya, di ba? 40 plus 30 plus 50 over 3. Di ba ganun na yun? Yung pagkuha ng mean natin, which is equal to 40. Ito yung mean natin. uh, unweighted unweighted mean. Yan yung unweighted. Pero may weight tayo sa example na to, which is the number of people surveyed in each area. So, example, sa area 1, nag-survey tayo ng 1,000 people. And then sa area 2, 3,000 people. Tapos sa area 3, 800 lang. Ayan. So, gusto natin kunin kung yung weighted mean ng percentages. Yung weighted mean nito. Okay, so paano yan? Apply lang natin yung formula. Ito, X4. Again, this is your X and this is your weight. Okay, so, yan. Weight times X. That's 1,000 times 40. And then next is 3,000 times 30 plus 800 times 50 divided by yung sum of the weights. Sum of the weights. So, sum nito. That's 1,000 plus 3,000 plus 800. Ayan. So, 1,000 times 40 is 40,000 plus 3,000 times 30, 90,000 plus 800 times 50. That's uh, 40,000. Zero. And then 1,000 plus 3,000 times 800 is 4,800. And then the sum of the numerator, 80,000 plus 90,000, that's 170 over 4,800. And tama ba? Pagkakaan ko? 40,000, 80,000. Yeah, I think tama naman. And then, simplify lang natin to. 170,000 divided by 4,800. That is 35.42%. Ayan. So, we should expect na mas mababa siya sa unweighted mean natin. Bakit? Kasi, tingnan natin, yung number surveyed, alin yung pinakamataas? 3,000, di ba? So, ang may pinakamabigat na hila sa mean is 30, yung pinakamababa. So, expect natin na mas malapit dun sa yung weighted mean natin, dapat mas malapit siya doon sa X natin na may pinaka mabigat na weight. So, ganun yung sense ng natin, weighted mean compared to unweighted mean. Okay. Klaro ba yung weighted mean? Okay, thank you. So next, let's proceed with different shapes of distribution. Ano nga ba itong shapes of distribution natin? So in statistics or in basic statistics, meron tayong tatlong basic na or most common shapes of distribution. First, we have the positively skewed distribution, or also known as right skewed distribution. So ano nga ba tong um, right skewed distribution? Um, so ang positively skewed distribution, sabi dito, yung majority ng ating data values, nagfo-fall siya left, sa left of the mean or lower than the mean. Kaya siya nagiging right skewed. Parang ganito siya kapag i-draw natin. Kunwari ganyan. Wait. Ganyan. Parang ganyan yung tawag dito. Yung scatter. Kapag scatter ng data natin kapag i-graph natin. So, dito yung ating y frequency. That's our y-axis, and our x-axis is the x or data values. Ayan. So, kapag ganito, yung mean natin, ano siya? Kunwari andito, yung mean natin. This is our mean. Yung magiging median natin is somewhere dito sa left. This will be our median to the left. And then our mode, of course, dito sa may peak. Yung may peak dito. That will always be our mode. Ayan. So, ganyan yung yung itsura nung natin. Itsura ng graph. Kaya siya right skewed kasi may skew siya dito sa right here on this part. Kaya siya tinawag na right skewed. So, kung positive is to the right. Again, mamaya may din tayo, negatively skewed to the left naman siya. Pero for now, let's move to muna, symmetrical distribution. For symmetrical distribution, naman siya? From yung pangalan niya itself, symmetry. So there must be some sort of symmetry in the X versus frequency uh, graph. So, dito sa gitna. And lahat dito, andito yung, eto yung mean niya. Andito rin yung median. Nasa gitna ka. Tapos yung peak, andito rin sa gitna. So, andito rin yung mode natin. So, in symmetrical distribution, the mean is equal to the median is also equal to the mode. Ayan. So, if you have taken the or a background of um, statistics, hawig niya yung ano, 'di ba? Yung normal distribution. Our normal distribution is actually a symmetrical distribution, 'di ba? Ito yung mean natin. Tapos meron kang parang Z sub alpha, mga ganyan. This is your normal distribution, di ba? Ano siya? It's an example of a symmetrical distribution. Pero we will go deeper sa normal distribution in the coming days. And lastly, syempre, sinabi ko kanina, negatively skewed, negatively distribution or left tail or left skewed. Left skewed distribution. Ayan. So, parang ano lang nito, kabaliktad lang nito, positively skewed. So, paano ba to? Paano ba yung graph nito? Parang ganyan lang. Wait. Wait. Ayan, ganyan. Or mas anuin ko lang. Ayan. Much better. So, this is our friend and then X. Kapag negatively skewed, kunwari yung mean natin is somewhere here. Then our median is to the right of the mean, which is somewhere around here, or estimated somewhere around here. And then our media mode is ito yung nasa peak. Here, that's our mode. So, ayan lang, ganun lang yung shapes of distribution natin. Okay, so time now is 10:22. We'll have a short break muna before we move on to the next topic, which is the uh, measures of variations. We will continue ng 10:24. We have a 2-minute break. Okay. Hello, 1024. Uh, so let's begin with the measures of variation. Okay, so ano nga ba yung measures of variation? So, unlike dun sa previous na ano kanina, yung measures of central tendency, di ba parang ano siya, yung binibigay yung ano, yung mga different types of average. Yun yung parang ginagawa natin central score of a given data set. Ngayon, sa ano naman, measures of variation, kukunin lang natin kung or i-estimate lang natin how far are each ano how far the different uh data points in a certain data set. Wait, sulat ko yung how far are the data points from each other. Ito yung question na tinatry na i-answer ng ano natin, different measures of variation. So, first, excuse me. So, in illustration, let's give these two groups. Wait lang. We have group 1 for illustration. Have here a group 1 and then a group 2. Then other group 1, we have 14, 13, 18, 14, and 11. And then sa group 2, we have 5, 19, 18, 14, and 14. And so, kunin, gusto natin kunin kung ano yung ano nila. Mean, median, mode, and the mid-range. And so, first, kunin muna natin yung mean. Mean ng group 1. That's just 14 times 13 plus 18 plus 14 plus 11. Ilan lahat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. That is equal to 14 plus 13 plus 18 plus 14 plus 11. That's 70 over 5. Divide by 5, that's 14. 14. I-grind ko na to ha. Alam nyo naman na kumuha ng mean. That's 14. Dito naman sa kabila, 5 plus 19 plus 18 plus 14 plus 14 divided by 5. 14 din. So, same sila ng mean. What about the median? So, for this one, okay, let's do this real quick. 11, 13, 14, 14, 18. Sinulat ko siya in ascending order. Tapos, remember, yung median is just the middle number in the ordered array. So, 14. 14 yung median dito. What about dito sa kabila? 5, and then 14, 14, 18, 19. Again, same yung nasa gitna is 14. What about the mode? Mode. So, sa group 1, para makita naman natin agad na dalawa yung 14. Tapos, tigi-isa na lang yung ibang numbers. So, highest frequency, 14 din. And then, dito sa group 2, same case. Dalawa yung 14 natin. So, the mode is 14 din. So, pag kukunin lang natin yung mean, median, and mode, same sila ng group 1 and group 2, di ba? So, hindi natin makukonclude na wala tayong like strong evidence na sabihin kapag kunwari given lang to, mean, median, mode, 14, 14, 14, 14, hindi natin masasabi na group 1 is different from group 2. Pero obviously, pag binigay sa atin yung raw data, magkaiba talaga sila, di ba? Ito may 5, ito may 13, pero sa kabila wala. Dito na papasok yung mid-range natin. Again, ano ulit yung mid-range? It's just the average of your highest and lowest values. What is the mid-range in group 1? Our smallest value is 11 and the highest value is 18. And then we get their average. That's 11 plus 18 divided by 2, 14.5. This is, wait, huwag na natin write. This is 14.5. Sa kabila, that's 5, tama? 5 plus 19 over 2. 24 over 2 or 12. Dito na sila nagkaiba sa mid-range. Sa group 1, 14.5. Sa group 2, 12. So, from the mid-range, masasabi natin na group 1 and group 2 are not exactly from the same distribution. Kahit na yung mean, median, and mode nila ay magkapareho. Dito na papasok yung ano natin, yung measures of variation. So, measures of variation, again, ano yung sinasagot na question? How far are the data points from each other? Kaya nga variation, gaano nagpa-vary yung mga data points natin. Again, so the first measure is called the range. Range. Ano nga ba yung range? Range, actually siya yung pinaka simple or pinakamadali na calculate. Kasi yung range is just highest value minus lowest value. Ayun lang. Yan na yun. Yan na yung range natin. Okay, so, let's try to find the range of group 1. Group 1. Kunin natin yung range niya. Again, highest value is 18 and the lowest value is 11. So, 18 minus 11 is just 7. So, the range of group 1 is 7. What about in group 2? The highest is 19 and the lowest is 5. So, 19 minus 5 is just 14. So, dito pa lang, sabi natin na magkaiba sila. ng range in terms of range. So ano yung ibig sabihin dito? Ibig sabihin lang na higher range, let's put it, sulit na lang natin in words. Larger, larger range or larger value of range, it implies higher or greater variation in or dispersion in each um, data set. So kapag 7 compared to 14, we cannot say, hindi natin sasabihin na group 2 has twice the dispersion of group 1. Hindi ganun yung interpretation dito. Ibig sabihin lang dito, mas malaki yung dispersion sa group 2 kaysa sa group 1. We just compare them relatively, not absolutely. Kasi parang titignan natin dito, by 14, 14, 18, 19, magkakalapit lang sila. Tapos biglang by 5. Ang layo sa the rest of the uh, data data points. What about in group 1? 14, 13, 18, 14, 11. Halos magkakalapit lang sila. So we expect that their range must be low or lower than group 2. Ganun. So that's range. Ganun lang yung ano natin, uh, range natin. Pero yung disadvantage lang dito, pag may outliers is the presence of outliers. Bakit? Bakit may disadvantage siya kapag may presence of outliers? Okay, so here's a quick example. Kunwari group 3 na. Group 3, let's say 5, 6, 6, 5, 8, 8, 5, 7, 5. Ganyan. Tapos ang group 4 natin, let's add here 5 and then 15. Then sa group 4, we have 13, 18, 17, 12, 17, 18, 11, 10, 19. Okay. So, try natin kunin yung range ng group 3. Yung highest is 15 and the lowest is 5. So the range is 10. Dito sa group 4, the highest is 19, the lowest is 10. It's just 9. So, from here, masasabi ba natin agad na group 3 is more dispersed than group 4? Pero if you look at it, 5, 6, 6, 5, 8, 8, 5, 7, 5. Magkakalapit lang sila. Pero, nagka-outlier siya na 15. Malaking influence yun dun sa range ng group 3. What about in group 4? 13, 18, 17, 12. Tapos may 19 pa, may 10 pa. Like, kapag titignan natin dito, compared to group 3, mas magkakalayo sila, di ba? like relatively from each other. Pero mas mababa yung range ng group 4 than group 3. Bakit? Kasi wala siyang presence of outlier. So doon pumapasok yung disadvantage ng outlier natin. Okay, so we have to speculate the raw data first. Kung may outlier siya, yung masasabi natin outlier kapag sobra siyang naiiba doon sa usual na ibang raw data natin. So that's for range. Next, punta naman tayo doon sa standard deviation and variance. You guys familiar with standard deviation and variance? Okay, so let's start with the population variance and population uh, standard deviation. Okay, so um, ito naman standard wait, sulat ko muna. Variance and standard deviation. So, itong standard deviation, ito actually yung uh, most commonly used in the measure of variation. Parang ano dito, iti-indicate dito how gaano sila magkakalapit, gaano magkakalapit yung mga data values natin around the mean. So, may mean yung uh, mean is the reference. Reference natin is the mean. So, kapag a lower standard deviation, ibig sabihin, mas magkakalapit, mas clustered together sila. Pero pag ah, mas mataas yung standard deviation mo, mas spread out or mas disperse yung ano natin. So, they come hand in hand with range. Diba? Kapag mas disperse, mas mataas yung range. Pag mas disperse, mas mataas yung standard deviation. Ganun din yun. So, what about variance? Variance is just the square of your standard deviation. So, if we were to write the formula, okay, so this should be familiar to you. Sigma squared, that's your variance. That's your summation of x minus mu squared all over big N. Big N kasi, again, population. Sa population muna tayo. Okay, so where N is your number of population and U, of course, that's your population mean. And your standard deviation, population standard deviation, that's your sigma. Kukuntin natin yung positive root. Dapat yung variance natin is always positive. Yung standard deviation, always positive din. There is never a negative variance and negative standard deviation. So, kunin natin yung positive root nung ayan, positive. Wala siyang negative. Wala dapat. Okay, so let's have an example. Sample. Okay, ibang ano na to. Sample 1. So, kunwari you have five lang muna para madali. Five numbers, 80, 88, 92, 90, and 85. Yan, konti lang. Tapos, kukunin natin yung variance and standard deviation dito. Okay. So, in finding the variance is or standard deviation, lagi nating uunahin yung pagkuha ng population mean or the mean. Again, the formula is summation of x over n. Tama? So, kunin natin yung sum nila ng mga data points natin or data values divided by n, which is 5. Okay, so magkano to? Yung population mean natin. Someone type in the chat kung ilan yung population mean natin. $87? Is it 87? Yes, it's 87. That's 435 over 5, which is 87. And then, sunod dito, let's make another table. Wherein yung column natin, dalawa lang, score and x minus mu. Okay, tatlo na lang. X minus mu squared. Score, that's your x values. That's your data points. So that's 80, 88, 92, 90, and 85. Hmm. And then, let's complete the x minus mu column. X, that's your score. That's 80 minus the mu, 87. So, for this one, our x minus mu is negative 7. Then 88 naman. 88 minus 87, that's 1. 92 minus 97 is 5. 5. 90 minus 87, 3. And then 85 minus 87 is negative 2. Tama? Okay, yes, tama. And then we get there x minus mu quantity squared. Square lang natin itong mga, mga to. Negative 7 squared, it's 49. 1 squared, 1, 5 squared, 25, 3 squared, 9, negative 2 squared, 4. So, in this column, we should expect that all of the entries are positive kasi squared, right? And then we get their sum. Sum dito. That's our summation of x minus mu squared. Did someone give me the sum of this column? 93. Is it 93? Iba yung na solve ko eh. Hindi siya 93. Lower than 93. Could you check it again, Ian? What about the others? Fatima said 88. Yeah, I got 88. So our summation of x minus mu quantity squared is 88. And then, yung formula natin, ito, nakuha na natin yung numerator, right? So, problema na lang natin yung denominator, which is just 5. So, let's divide it by 5. U squared is summation of x minus mu squared over n. That's 88 over 5, which is, of course, 17.6. So, our population variance is 17.6. Therefore, our standard deviation is just the square of your variance. That's the square root of 17.6. Or if we were to estimate, should be higher than 4. Diba? 4 point something. Kasi 4 squared is 16. Diba? Pero if we were to use a calculator, it's about 4.2 siya. Yeah. So, that is our standard deviation. Okay, so in your college entrance exam, usually binibigay yung in more advanced problems, binibigay yung arbitrary yung variance or standard deviation. Pero may ilang problems din na hinihingi yung variance. Usually variance yung hinihingi na na um hinihingi na value sa dataset. Okay, so that's for the population variance and standard deviation. Now let's move on to the estimators. So if you were to do the estimators or your sample, if you were to recall, what's our population mean? U, diba? And that is equal to the summation of your x all over n. And it follows that your sample mean or x bar is just your summation of x din divided by n. So yung denominator, nagbago lang siya from population size to sample size. Pero sa variance and standard deviation, that's not the case actually. From in 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 estimating the variance and standard deviation, the statistics found that your denominator, your sample variance denoted by s squared. Actually, same lang siya sa numerator. Again, yung mu kanina, di ba? Mu, so papalitan natin siya ng x bar. And then divided by n minus 1. Hindi siya n. Dito big N, di ba? Ito. But in estimating, we divide by n minus 1 kapag um, variance and standard deviation. So our sample standard deviation then is, of course, the positive square root of the sample variance. Then we get the square root. Ayan, so that's our sample variance and sample standard deviation. Yung ginawa natin kanina na pag-solve, ito yung ganito. Kapag marami yung data points, parang kunwari 10 or 15, which is medyo marami for manual computation. Meron siyang shortcut actually. May shortcut for sample variance and standard deviation. So, ano nga ba yung shortcut natin? The shortcut for standard first sample variance, that's S squared, is your sample size times the summation of the square of your x's minus uh, summation, the square of your summation of x all over uh, all over n times n minus 1. Hindi magka-cancel yung n, right? Kasi wala tong n. Wala yung n. So, ngayon talaga, n times n minus 1. So, it follows that your standard deviation is just the square root of that shortcut formula. And wait, there. So, that's the shortcut formula. Okay, so let's have an example. This will be our last na because it's almost 11. Next time na yung group naman. So for this one, mga ungroup muna. So let's have 206, 215, 305, 297, 265, 282, 301, 255, and 261. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so we have nine data points. Wait, sulat ko ito ng mas maayos. 2, 5, 5, 2, 6, 1. Ayan, so kunin natin yung ano dito. Sample variance and standard deviation. So for this, gamitin na natin yung shortcut. Shortcut nga para mas madali. So kunin natin yung summation of x or your sum of your data points lang. $261. Ayan. So, malapit na yung time, I'll just give you paki-double check na lang if tama yung solve ko. This is 2387. And then, this is your step 1. Oh, wait lang. This is your step 1. And then step 2 is to get for summation of x squared. So that's 206 squared. For a manual computation, medyo malalaki pala itong numbers, no? Pero for sure, mas maliit yung ibibigay sa entrance exams. This is 643,391. And then step 3 is just to substitute. Nakuha na natin yung summation of x and summation of x squared. So, substitute na natin dito. S squared. Again, our n is 9. Excuse me. Okay, hindi tayo dapat malito of which is summation of x squared and the square of x, summation of x. Magkaiba ito tsaka ito. Okay, so summation of our x squared is 643,391. And the square of your summation of x is 2387 square. And then we divide it by 9 times 8. Okay, so for this one, I got up to 2 decimal places. 1288.19. That's your sample variance. So our sample standard deviation is just the square root, which is about 35.9. Ayan. So, mas madali na siya coded compared sa ito pag sa population stand, standard deviation and variance. Mas may shortcut kapag sa um, sample variance and standard deviation. Okay, so we'll end it from here. Next time we will discuss the group data, yung may class limits, class intervals naman. Okay, thank you everyone.
And hello. So, yun. Thank you guys for that. Day 4 ends with this. Bukas meron tayong day 5. We'll be jumping into calculus naman bukas with Sir Charles. Tapos i-announce lang namin kailan yung D6 natin na statistics edit yung ituturo natin. So, sa mga nandito, can we just, yeah, let's take a quick picture sa mga kaya mag-open ng camera. Just for a quick souvenir for our day number 4. Hi, Mika.
Hello.
Okay, sa mga kaya mag-open ng camera, can smile and show our cute faces. Again, I'll give 20 seconds. Oh,